Hello, I'm Russ Mould, AJ Bell's Investment Director, and welcome to Fundamentals, our regular look at the world of funds and collectives, where we highlight one of the most popular purchases on the AJ Bell Youinvest platform and then analyse why your fellow investors might be buying right now. This week, smack at the top of the list for actively run funds is Fundsmith Equity, a collective that regularly features among the collectives most actively purchased by customers of AJ Bell Youinvest. The man behind the firm, Terry Smith, well, he's very well known to a lot of people from his days on the equity research team at UBS's investment banking business in the 1980s, when he wrote a book, Accounting for Growth, that managed to upset more than a few chief executives. Following spells as the boss himself of Colin Stewart and then Tulip Prebon, he set up Fundsmith in 2010, and throughout he stuck to the straight-talking approach which he used back in his days at UBS. The fund's mandate is to generate long-term value growth for its investors, and it seeks to do it by putting money to work across a very concentrated portfolio of global stocks. According to the latest fact sheet, the £3.3 billion collective holds just 26 stocks, a marked contrast to many equity funds where 40 to 80 positions is the norm, with some going higher still. The criteria used to pick the companies are exacting, but have been proven over time, not just by Smith and team, but other investment luminaries like Ben Graham and Warren Buffett, who look for companies that are economic castles surrounded by unbreachable moats. Smith and the fund look for stocks which have the following several key characteristics. First, they operate in industries where there are lofty barriers to entry, as this helps provide pricing power. Second, the businesses are pretty scalable, so they don't need huge amounts of cash to keep growing. Third, they generate consistently high returns on capital employed. Fourth, they don't have a lot of debt. And fifth, they come with a pretty attractive valuation. The top 5 holdings are currently Microsoft, Imperial Brands, formerly known as Imperial Tobacco, US soft drinks group Dr. Pepper Snapple, Becton Dickinson, and an American medical supplies concern, and Britain's very own Unilever. The focus is generally more on capital growth than income, as the yield on the fund is around 1.2% at the moment. This first chart here shows the portfolio split by geography, and the second shows the mix by industry. Note here the dominance of consumer staples and healthcare, and the absence of miners and oil. That probably comes back to the pricing power issue. This suggests the sort of stocks Smith likes also offer a degree of comfort and certainty, and suspect that's why the fund is proving particularly popular with your fellow investors right now. Global financial markets have been very volatile since the US Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the first time in a decade on the 16th of December, and the market has also swung from pricing in 4 more rate increases from the US Central Bank to none and back to 2. They've also swung from discounting a deflationary downturn to an acceleration in global growth, helped by interest rate cuts or more quantitative easing from the European Central Bank, Bank of Japan, and People's Bank of China, to name but 3. Smith's policy of backing what he likes, keeping a concentrated portfolio and then sitting tight, will understandably appeal to many investors in this highly uncertain environment, not least as he's not relying on central banks to help him out. No one can really time these markets, and it's frankly futile to try, and Smith is definitely one fund manager who won't bother, so trading costs will be kept to a minimum. On the subject of expenses, the annual ongoing charge figure is 0.97%. Now that sits right in the middle of the range for the global large cap blend equity category where the fund can be found, but the 5-year annualised performance figure of 19% a year ranks Fundsmith Equity as the single best performer in this area over that time frame. Now, even if we all know again the past is no guarantee for the future, that record will doubtless catch the eye of many, especially as the next best performer, Linsell Train Global Equity Fund, itself no mug, comes in over 300 basis points behind with a 5-year annualised returns of nearly 16%. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.